Welcome to the Liberty Watchdog Network, a highly enlightening show that discusses America's founding principles and how they still apply today. Learn what our government was intended to be, how it has gotten out of control, and what you can do about it. The Constitution is in crisis. If you are a concerned American about the direction of this country, then you are not alone and must tune in every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can't defend what you don't know. Learn it or lose it. Please be sober-minded that what we are about to share will be shocking to you. I am your Son of the American Revolution host and LibertyWatchdog.com founder, Nate Green. So let's explore our nation's founding principles of liberty. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 6, 2017. The topic of the day is how to discern a socialist politician and their lingo. Remember last week you learned that we the people are the press and who the Mongols of media are. But sadly, the further society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak it. So let's move on to our first segment, Liberty Watchdog News. News that you will not hear from what we call the Mongols of media. Because remember, only 7 major corporations control everything you see, hear, and touch. I would also like all of our listeners to pray for those who have been affected by Hurricane Harvey and those being affected by Hurricane Irma that's happening right now in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean and also going to be affecting Florida. Pray for these folks. Video proof that undercover police posing as Antifa or anti-fascists are inciting violence. Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change shows video of personal experience at Occupy Wall Street protests, proving that at least one of the Antifa thugs trying to escalate mob violence was an undercover police officer. A 1969 FBI document shows that this is an accepted practice. All groups are targeted, left, right, all races, and religions. The goal is to create hatred and violence between them, an old strategy called divide and conquer. Extreme violence causes citizens to demand extreme protection. They are happy when martial law is declared, and after that, the police state is here to stay. That is the goal of those at the top who are making this happen, said GEG. War on cash. Visa tries to bribe merchants to stop taking cash. Visa and other payment networks want to abolish cash and checks that compete with their credit and debit cards. The card companies are offering thousands of dollars in upgrades on card technology, but in exchange, merchants must stop accepting cash. So far, merchants do not want to risk losing business and are not receptive to the scheme. And by the way, if you ask around, I actually even personally know a coin shop dealer that has been dealing with this for quite some time. In fact, Chase Bank penalized him for making cash deposits for his business. In the Virgin Islands, the governor actually gave an order for the National Guard to seize guns ahead of Hurricane Irma, which, by the way, violates his oath of office being a U.S. territory. And if you think back, this also happened in New Orleans when they went through their hurricane and what happened several years ago. So back to the topic of the day. How to discern a socialist politician and their lingo. The following that I'm going to share with you now is about a list of mayors who have declared themselves to be socialists or have been a member of the Socialist Party in the United States. And folks, if you have followed Liberty Watchdog, the Constitutional Boot Camp, you know that we've talked about this, that both parties are actually funded by the same people. In 1911, it was estimated there were 28 such mayors. And in 1913, 34. In 1967, however, James Weinstein's table of cities and towns pointed out that there were nearly 74 such municipalities back then. Now, I want you to even think about how many there must be today. So, let's talk about the language used by the Council on Foreign Relations, the CFR, Trilateral Commission, and many other globalist groups that are funded or supported by the likes of George Soros. Remember, he's just one of many, or even the Clinton Foundation. Here are some of the Socialist New World Order lingo for you. If you hear these words on TV, just substitute with Socialist New World Order, because they mean the same thing. So let's begin. What are the words that are used? Well, number one at the list we put is moving forward. Progressive, forward by itself. Global, global partnership. Universal values, international order. Global cooperation, global power, global challenge. International economic cooperation. Shared security. Global economic decision-making, international financial institutions, the United Nations, global partners, sustainable communities, social justice, green jobs, going green. Green is the new red. And when they say rule of law, they aren't talking about the U.S. Constitution, but the global governance New World Order of the United Nations agenda. Be aware of global governance, sustainable development, or anything that has to do with mentioning being sustainable. So basically, folks, anything global or international equals bad news for America and you and me, because they're not talking about our constitutional principles or values. One such simple example is from the mayoral race in St. Pete, Florida, where Democratic candidate Rick Chrisman's motto is as socialist as it gets. It simply states, quote, moving St. Pete forward. That's his motto. And note, he is one of many. Fact is, both parties have accepted such lingo for years. So are you reading real history, written by those whom lived it, or are you reading someone's revisionist opinion of it? I challenge you to join us and help us fund this program by becoming a Liberty Watchdog. As it says in Ecclesiastes 7:12, for wisdom is protection just as money is protection, but the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the lives of its possessors. In closing today, I challenge you to research your representatives and discern if they use such lingo, and to do your own research from several different sources so you can discern the truth, to study real American history for yourself, and learn more about the source of our nation by visiting LibertyWatchdog.com. Help us grow by becoming a Patriot Radio partner, and be sure to join our email list and take the next Constitutional Boot Camp. Remember, you can't defend what you don't know. Learn it or lose it. I'm Nate Green. See you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. May God bless you, and may God bless America.